Welcome to Little John's Yarns. Today we're going to learn how to make this easy crochet purse. Also in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you a cool yarn trick to make this bag even sturdier. And it's so sturdy it can actually stand up on its own. If you find this video moves too fast, look to the bottom right hand of your screen and you'll see a little gear button. Just click that and adjust the speed to your liking. Let's hop right into this tutorial. Today we are using a 6.5mm crochet hook, or the letter K, and worsted weight yarn. I'm using Caron 1 pound in the color blue and tan. To begin, I'm going to show you how to turn your worsted weight yarn into a chunky strand of yarn. I also have a video link up above on the tutorial how to do this. So you'll begin by making a slip knot. And with your slip knot, put your fingers through just like you're about to make a finger chain and pull a long loop. This long loop will be our working yarn now. You'll have 3 strands of yarn. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to crochet with it and what you do when you run out of that extra loop for your 3rd strand. So I'll show you a couple chain stitches. Okay, let's say we chained a lot and you ran out of yarn. So what you do again, put your fingers through the loop, grab your working yarn, and pull. Pull extremely long so you won't have to keep pulling your work over and over again, and continue chaining on your way. Alright, now that that lesson's out of the way, let's hop right into the pattern. Alright, let's begin this pattern. I'm starting with my color blue. I'm going to make a slip knot. And we're going to turn this into chunky yarn. So put your finger through, pull your working yarn, and pull an extremely long loop so you won't have to keep pulling this over and over again. And once your loop is extremely long, we're going to start as we usually would, by making a slip knot. Alright, now that we have our 3 strands of yarn together, we are going to chain 26. So begin your chain of 26. You can pause your video here and continue chaining your 26 chains, and I'll meet you when you're complete. Okay, we completed our chain of 26 stitches, and now we are going to place a half double crochet into the 2nd chain from the hook. And we're going to half double crochet all the way across. You can pause your video here and continue putting half double crochets all the way across your work. Actually, I ran out of yarn, so I'm going to show you once again how to increase your loop before we go to the end of the row. So remember, take your loop, put your fingers through, pick up your working yarn, and pull a long loop. And we're back to our 3 strands. Alright, pause your video here and continue placing half double crochets all the way down this row. Okay, we made it to the end of this row, and we're going to chain 1. Turn your work. Your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to half double crochet into the very same stitch. And we are going to half double crochet in each stitch across. Okay, we're going to repeat this sequence for a total of 4 more rows, including this one. So you can pause your video here, put 1 half double crochet in each stitch across, and when you get to the end, chain 1 and turn your work. Do that for a total of 4 more rows. Remember, including this one. Okay, we completed our 4 additional rows, but that would make a total of 5 rows total. So here we are at our corner. We are going to chain 1. We're going to place a half double crochet in evenly spaced across all the way around. When you make it to the corner, we're going to place 2 half double crochets, then a single half double crochet, 2, single half double crochet, 2 at each corner. So I already chained 1. Let's place a half double crochet into the very same spot. And a half double crochet into the next spot. Try to make it as evenly spaced as you can. Half double crochet again. We're working into the sides of your rows. And half double crochet into the next spot. Okay, continue placing half double crochets until you make it to the corner. Oh, I'm having trouble myself. There we go. Alright, we made it to our corner here. And for me, I'm working on the bottom part of the original chain stitch. I'm going to place 2 half double crochets in that very first stitch. One, and let me get my second one. 2. All right, continue placing half double crochets in each one of your stitches. All right, this part's not too complicated, so you can pause your video here and meet me back when you're done. So continue placing 1 singular half double crochet in each one of your stitches, and I'll meet you at this corner and I'll show you how to put those 2 in. Okay, we made it back to the other corner, so we're going to place 2 half double crochets into that very corner stitch. One, 2. Once again, we're going to evenly place half double crochets all the way around. Place 2 half double crochets in the very first stitch here, and continue placing half double crochets to the other side. And I'll meet you when you make it back to your other end. You can pause your video here. Okay, we've made it back around, and we placed 2 half double crochets into that very last stitch there for our corner. And now we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first half double crochet. Okay, complete your slip stitch. Chain 1. Half double crochet and into the very same space. Now we're going to place 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. No more increases. Continue placing 1 half double crochet in each stitch around for an additional 13 rows, including this one. And if you're following my color pattern, it'll be 4 more blue rows, 5 more tan rows, and 4 more blue rows again. I'll meet you at the completion of your 13 rows. You can pause your video. Okay, next I'm going to teach you how to make this purse strap here. And I created these little rings. You can use metal rings if you want to, but if you don't have any of these metal rings in your stash, I'll teach you how to make these real quick. In order to make the rings for your purse, I am switching over into a 4mm crochet hook. To begin to make the ring, we are going to create a slip knot. We're going to begin by chaining 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can pause here. Meet me at the completion of your 15. Okay, we completed our 15 chains, and we are going to slip stitch to join into the very first single crochet. Oops. Let me try that again. Alright, now we're going to chain 1. We're going to place 20 single crochets into the ring. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, you can pause your video here. Complete putting 20 single crochets all the way around your ring, and try to weave in your work as you go. Okay, we completed our 20 single crochets into the ring, and we're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet. And make sure your work's not twisted so your circle is nice and flat. Okay, chain one, and we're going to single crochet into the very same space. We're going to place one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Simple as that. So you can pause your video here and continue placing one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we've made it back around and slip stitch into the very first single crochet. And you can fasten off your work. And make sure you weave in on your ends. Go ahead and make a total of 4 of these. So you'll have 2 ends for each of your straps. Next, you're going to cut the strands for the braided purse strap. What I did, I measured a total of 72 inches long worth of strap. When it's folded in half, it's about 36 inches. And there are 30 strands of yarn, 15 of tan and 15 of blue. And what I did, I threaded it through my little loop. Like I said, if you want to use metal loops, that's fine. But for this tutorial, I'm doing something a little different. I'm using these tan ones that I made myself. Place it perfectly in the center of your work. It's hard to show this on camera because there is a lot of strands. And what you'll do now, you'll separate your work into 3 parts. And you'll begin to make a braid all the way down your work. It's difficult for me to show a braid on camera, but I'm sure you know how to braid. If you don't know how to, we're on YouTube. Go ahead and check out a tutorial. So go ahead and braid your work all the way down to the bottom, and I'll meet you at the completion of your braid. Okay, when you make it down to the bottom, just take a piece of yarn and tie off the bottom. Just a quick FYI, when you go on to make your second strap, make sure your straps are perfectly the same length because you don't want one purse strap to be longer than the other. Okay, once your braid is completed, you'll take your second ring and get all your yarn in there. Alright, and all we do here is we're just going to fold it over. Whoops, I got my thing on the wrong side. Okay, back to what I was saying, and right now we'll just fold your work over like so. And how I get these to stay and all these extra ends down, what I did to the last one, I tied it down and weaved in all my ends. I'll show you what I did real quick. I took another piece of yarn, and on the reverse side of where I'm going to have it sewn down and weaved in, I take this yarn and just weave it through the top layer of the back of your work. And take your tassel in and fold it over. and we're going to tie this off. Like I said, it's very difficult for me to do this on camera, because when I'm off camera, I'm doing a lot of finagling to get this in there nice and tight. I don't want to wrap the knot around the front because I only want the rougher stitches to be in the back part. Alright, don't lose those two long ends like I just did. Now that part's sewn down, tie it down. I take my needle, and what I'm going to do, let's see if I can zoom in with my camera. Make sure this is flat as possible. I'm just going to continue to sew around like so, and wrap. Go through and around, several more times. Alright, and also you can cut some of these ends because they're pretty lengthy also. So I'll show you what this looks like halfway complete. Okay, I got half of it sewn down and weaved through, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. As you can see, I have a latch hook, or you can use a needle, and what I'm doing is inserting my latch hook into the work up through the top layer, picking up a couple strands and weaving them through. I don't want to break my latch hook. And that's all I'm doing. And once you get most of your pieces secure, all you're just going to do is cut off the excess. I'll show you what it looks like all cleaned up. It's a little bit messy right now. Okay, I got everything all tucked in, and here is what the other side looks like. Okay, this I know is probably going to be added in as an afterthought. For a little bit more coverage on your strap, I just wrapped some yarn around the end so it looks more seamless and smooth. So go ahead and do that to both straps. Okay, now that you've completed your additional rows, now we're going to section off our top of our purse so we can add our purse handles. What I did, I took my purse and laid it perfectly flat. And I marked off the 20 most center stitches on the top part, flipped it over, and matched them exactly, and the 20 most stitches on the back part. And that is where we're going to be starting our handles. So I'm going to adjust the camera, and we're going to start our next row. Okay, now we're going to add on our handles. Our handles. We're going to chain one because we slip stitch to join our row, and we are going to half double crochet into the same space. Alright, when we see our stitch marker here, I put that stitch marker there because that lets me know where the end of my handle will be. So I'm going to place my handle right here, and this is where the last stitch where my handle will be. We're going to half double crochet 3 stitches in between the handle, and to place this correctly, make sure you place the handle with the rope part, the braided part, downwards, because if you do it the opposite way, your handle will be on the reverse side of your purse. So we've already completed our first stitch, and we're going to attach our handle. To do that, we're just going to go in through our ring, yarn over like we usually would, and go into the next stitch to start our half double crochet. Yarn over and pull up a loop as usual. Go back in through the loop so you can yarn over and pull through all 3 of your loops to complete your half double crochet. So that's one. Half double crochet into the next stitch. That's your second one, and complete your third half double crochet. yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And your handle is now attached. And where the stitch marker is, this is where I know my the end of my handle is right here, if that makes sense. So remove your stitch marker and just put a regular half double crochet where the stitch marker is. And continue placing half double crochets all the way around until you make it to your next stitch marker on the other side. Pause the video here and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around to the stitch marker. You can remove it and we're going to place another half double crochet into that stitch marker. And we know this is where we'll place our second strap. We're going to be working on a complete second strap, not the continuation from the strap on the other side. Leave that part open. Get your completely other strap that's not connected to anything, because this is how we're going to be working the straps. Let me see if I can zoom out. On this side it'll be 2, and when we come back around for the other side, we'll hook that one on like that. So this is what the purse is going to look like. Alright, let's zoom back in and get back to the work. Once again, place your new hook down. Remember, have your work facing downward so your hook will be correct. Place your needle through your loop, the ring, yarn over and start your half double crochets as usual. We're going to place 3 half double crochets into this little ring for your purse handle. That's 1. Going for your second one. 2. And 3. Oops, I look like I lost a loop. If you lose a loop, please go back and do that stitch again so your work looks neater. Sorry. Alright, now you got your 3 half double crochets through there. Half double crochet into the next stitch. Alright, simple as that. Repeat this until you make it to your other stitch marker. You'll place your work on, but on this side your work will be to the right of your stitch marker. Alright, continue doing that all the way across with the both other sides of your purse handle, and I'll meet you when you get there. Okay, I was going to skip ahead and let you figure out how to put the purse handles on yourself, but for just in case, I'm just going to show you how to do the purse handles completely. I made it 3 stitches from the stitch marker, and we know we have to place 3 half double crochets into this purse handle ring. So we'll do that together. We'll put 3 in. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll put a regular half double crochet outside of the ring where your stitch marker is. Alright, we're going to continue placing half double crochets in each stitch all the way around until you make it to this stitch marker over here. So pause your video here and we'll work that together also. Okay, we made it back to the last stitch marker. Place a half double crochet into the stitch marker. And let's place our very last purse strap. Remember, make sure your purse strap is facing down. Put your yarn in through the ring. Yarn over, and we're going to place a half double crochet into the next 3 stitches through the ring. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now, and we'll place the last half double crochet, another half double crochet outside of the ring. Okay, continue placing one half double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the very first half double crochet of this row. Okay, we made it back around, and we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first half double crochet. Chain one. We're going to half double crochet into the same space. Now we're going to half double crochet in each stitch around. Okay, you can pause your video here. We're going to continue placing half double crochets in each stitch around for an additional, including this one, 2 more rows. So I'll meet you at the completion of your 2 rows. We've made it back around, and all we have to do is fasten off our work. And so slip stitch into the very first half double crochet and fasten off. Don't forget to weave in all your ends. Next, we're going to make the button for your purse. To do that, turn your yarn into 3 strands like I showed you earlier in the video. And with that yarn, we're going to make a slip knot. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to slip stitch into the very first chain. Now chain 1. We're going to place 9 single crochets into the ring. 1, 2. You can pause your video here, and I'll meet you at the completion of your 9. Okay, we completed our 9 single crochets into the ring. We're going to place 1 more into the ring, and we're going to stop halfway through. So yarn over, pull up a loop, and you have 2 loops on your hook. This yarn, we're just going to work along the way. We're not going to slip stitch to join. We're just going to continue placing single crochets around. So with your new yarn, my blue yarn, I'm going to wrap around the hook and pull through those 2 loops to switch colors. Now we're going to work 3 more single crochets into the ring, and then we're going to change colors again. I'll show you how we do this. And remember, we're going to continue holding on to this beige yarn. We're going to work over top of it as we go. We're not going to cut it. So single crochet, let's do that 3 times. 1, we're working over top of our previous crochets, right on top. 2, and we're still traveling with the other yarn. You can adjust your yarn as you go. And 3. Make sure you push all your work over, and we're going to place 1 more single crochet into the ring, and we're going to change colors back to the tan. So this will be our 4th single crochet. Pull up your 2 loops. We're going to drop the blue one and now pick up our tan one and pull through those 2 loops. And we're going to repeat that process. We're going to single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, make sure you're pushing over your work. 3, and we're going to single crochet for your 4th time, but stop halfway through. Bring up your 2 loops, drop your tan, pick up your blue, and pull through. We change colors. Let's repeat. We're going to do 3 single crochets into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Adjust your work so it's nice and pretty on both sides. And let's put your 4th single crochet, and we're going to change colors halfway through. And this is your 4th one. 4. Drop your blue, pick up your tan, and pull through those 2. And for this last color change, you can just put 4 single crochets into the space. No color change. 1, 2, 3. See if you can get your last 4th one in there. And 4. Got it. And you can just slip stitch to join into your blue stitch here. And you can fasten off your work. And trim it on your ends, and this is what your button looks like. You can adjust the spacing with your fingers. And then we're going to place this button onto your work. Okay, I placed the button on the purse. So what we're going to do now is going to attach the little strap that closes the purse off. To do that, we're going to be working on this side of our work. We're going to find the centermost 2 stitches that are on the back of the purse. So here's the centermost here and the centermost 2 stitches. And this is where I'll attach the yarn, and this is where I'll fasten off. So for mine, I am going to use 2 colors to make my chain. I'm still using my 6.5mm crochet hook. So put 2 strands of yarn together. And tie on your new work. For mine, I have to chain a number of 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue completing your chain. Depending on your position in your button, your chain might be longer or shorter. So do your chain, and I'll meet you when you're at the completion and ready to fasten off. Okay, I completed my chain that would fit around my button and back again. So all I'm going to do is go over to my next stitch and slip stitch to join. And all you gotta do now is fasten off your work. Alright guys, I'll show you what it looks like all completed. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Also, go check out my granny square purse and my other crochet tutorials. I'll see you all on the next video.